In the standard Dragon Ball chronology, the Dead Zone is just a brief detour before the Saiyans arrive. Garlic Jr. gets treated like a relic of an older magical Earth, but his ambition actually possessed a terrifying mathematical certainty. He did not want raw power, he wanted time. And in the cosmic order, time always wins. Imagine what happens if Goku and Piccolo arrive 90 seconds too late. The sky above the fortress does not crack with thunder. It suffocates. Shenron's parting aura leaves a greasy, emerald film across the clouds. And standing at the epicenter of a dead courtyard is a creature who has just bypassed the laws of biology. Garlic Jr. looks at his hands and whispers that his cells are no longer dying. Every second, 1 billion microscopic deaths occur in a mortal body, but his have stopped. He has become the permanent anchor of this world. Suddenly, 2 violent kinetic cracks shatter the stone pavers as Goku and Piccolo land. Goku warns Piccolo not to look at Garlic Jr.'s power level, but to look at the space around him. The air is warping, as if the universe doesn't know how to calculate his existence anymore. Piccolo answers that it will calculate just fine once they break him into small enough pieces. Without another word, Piccolo drives an energy-sheathed forearm directly through Garlic Jr.'s sternum. It is an absolute killing blow, but there is no blood. The tissue inside the wound is a gray, non-reflective void. Garlic Jr. simply looks down at the arm with cold curiosity, asking how one expects to subtract from infinity. With a sickening crunch, an invisible telekinetic pressure snaps Piccolo's arm and hurls him across the courtyard. Goku screams for Piccolo to clear the line of fire as he pushes his body to a tenfold Kaioken. A violent, combustion-like roar fills the air as it sizzles with thermal heat, culminating in a desperate Kamehameha. The point-blank blast completely vaporizes the courtyard, turning the solid stone to magma and then to gas. Garlic Jr.'s physical form is completely obliterated. For a single heartbeat, the only thing left of the Demon King is carbon dust drifting in the updraft. Then, the dust completely defies gravity. In a terrifying reverse shatter effect, the matter snaps back into alignment. The ashes do not just heal, they reform into a flawless biological sequence. And Garlic Jr. steps out of the smoke, completely unchanged by the trauma. He notes that his ancestors built a doorway to the dark spaces between dimensions, and decides it is time to take the roof off the world. A low, mechanical groan vibrates from the planet itself as the sky splits open into a jagged, violet rift. The Dead Zone opens, but it is no longer a localized vortex. Backed by an immortal engine, the rift scales exponentially, feeding on Earth's ionosphere and dragging the very air into the void. Gohan shrieks from the ruined parapet and charges. The 4-year-old child becomes a kinetic missile as his hidden pool of Saiyan rage explodes, driving his small body into Garlic Jr. with enough force to breach the vortex's threshold. They both plunge into the purple neon expanse of the Dead Zone, but immortality breaks the script. Inside the void, Garlic Jr. does not panic. He reaches back through the closing aperture, his fingers literalizing into hooks that catch the edges of three-dimensional reality, vowing that no prison can lock away a god who outlives the walls of his cell. With the sound of a canvas tearing on a global scale, he rips the rift wide open. The vortex reverses its polarity, beginning a catastrophic siphon of Earth's atmosphere. Sensing total extinction, Kami makes a choice that costs him his existence. He telepathically tells Piccolo that if the parasite cannot be purged, the host must be frozen. Kami dissolves into light, utilizing his entire life force to throw a permanent stasis field around the planet. The atmospheric siphon stops, but the cost is absolute. The sun is blocked out completely. The sky hardens into an opaque, toxic blood red, and Earth becomes a dark, sub-zero isolation ward. 6 months pass under that bleeding sky. It is a world operating entirely on dark magic and desperation. Without a sun, crops fail, cities go dark, and humanity huddles in the geothermal warmth of underground bunkers. Then, a metal capsule burns through the frozen atmosphere, impacting heavily into the frozen mud. The hydraulic hiss of a space pod opens, and Raditz steps out, his scouter immediately clicking erratically. He coughs in disgust, wondering why the atmosphere is saturated with sulfur and localized magic, questioning what Kakarot has done to this prize. Raditz expects a primitive population ripe for liquidation, but he is met instead by Garlic Jr.'s elite enforcers, heavily mutated by 6 months of unrestrained demonic energy. Raditz cuts through them with brutal Saiyan efficiency, but the carnage draws the king himself. Raditz fires rapid-fire energy bursts in absolute panic, screaming at the demon to stay down, wondering why his eyes are still tracking him after taking a hole through his skull. Garlic Jr. calmly responds that Raditz's concept of death belongs to a galaxy that still obeys the rules, but Earth has graduated. Following a horrific, bone-breaking impact, Raditz screams as his pod's engines ignite in a desperate retreat, barely escaping with his life. A broken Raditz blasts back into orbit, sending an urgent telemetry stream to Vegeta and Nappa, warning them not to come alone, because Kakarot's world is an anomaly ruled by an undying entity. Meanwhile, in the subterranean redoubts beneath the frozen oceans, the remnants of the sea fighters adapt. Because Goku never died fighting Raditz, he never traveled the snake way. The spirit bomb does not exist in this timeline, and the Kaioken remains a dangerous, unrefined prototype. Deep in a geothermal bunker, Goku wipes sweat and grease from his face, looking at his scarred hands. He tells Piccolo that every time he breaks Garlic's neck, the demon just smiles, and that they are fighting an equation that always ends in 1. Piccolo sits in the shadows, his eyes burning gold, and mentions an old ritual, a sealing matrix his creator used to lock his father in a copper vat for centuries, called the Mafuba. Goku objects, knowing that the technique burns the user's life force down to cinder, and neither of them has enough left to cage him. Piccolo agrees, but tells Goku to look at the boy. Gohan has not seen daylight in half a year, and he is no longer growing like a human. In the corner of the bunker, 5-year-old Gohan sits in deep meditation. Piccolo's training has been merciless, turned into a tool to mold a hybrid biological weapon into a demon slayer. Surrounded by the ambient, oppressive pressure of Garlic Jr.'s dark Kai, Gohan's Saiyan physiology has spent 6 months in a state of hyperevolutionary survival. His hair is not just spiked. It is occasionally pulsing with a brilliant, blinding platinum light. The Sea Fighters stake everything on a single, final gambit, luring the demon king back to the dead plateau where his throne once stood. Garlic Jr., now expanded into a massive engine of destruction, mocks them for bringing a jar to a graveyard, taunting that their dragon is stone and their gods are dead. Goku drops into a wide, grounded stance and tells Garlic that they aren't here to kill you, but to close your account. Goku and Piccolo shout in unison as a roaring, gale-force green tornado erupts from their outstretched palms, instantly snaring Garlic Jr.'s massive form in the Mafuba. The evil containment wave forces a violent spatial reorientation. Garlic Jr.'s immortal mass resists the vortex, his life force pulling violently against the green spiral. Piccolo's green skin begins to split, blood weeping from his pores from the sheer kinetic feedback. He screams that the mass is too heavy. The immortality is distorting the ceiling vector, and the jar is about to shatter. Goku yells for Gohan to drop the anchor. With a cataclysmic explosion of raw, electric power, Gohan steps into the green light. His eyes clear into a chilling, crystalline teal, and his hair snaps upward into a blinding, golden flame that cuts through the toxic red fog. Raising his hands, he channels Piccolo's ancestral demon-slaying magic through the lens of pure, unadulterated Saiyan evolution, unleashing a massive, roaring Masenko. The blast doesn't burn Garlic Jr. It acts as a kinetic pile driver, forcing his immortal, thrashing form straight down through the narrow neck of the specialized containment jar. Garlic Jr.'s muffled scream cuts off instantly as a heavy, ceramic lid clacks into place, and a paper talisman seals shut with a spiritual chime. The wind drops, and the green light dies. The immortal god is reduced to a vibrating piece of earthenware sitting on a ruined altar. Gohan collapses instantly out of his golden form, his small body caught by Goku before he hits the frozen ground. The sky does not clear because Kami is dead, and the planetary shield remains, leaving the Earth a scarred, frozen fortress. Suddenly, 2 violent, high-speed atmospheric entries roar overhead, crashing into the mountains in the distance. Goku looks toward the horizon with a cold, predatory smile, whispering that they are right on time. Vegeta and Nappa touch down on Earth, expecting an easy harvest, but they step out into an eternal night, only to find a battle-hardened Goku, a ruthless Makyan, and a golden-haired child waiting for them in the dark. This single choice completely shatters the power scaling of the entire franchise. If you want to see exactly how this timeline unfolds, tell me what we build next. Do we cover Vegeta and Nappa's absolute horror when they realize a 5-year-old child possesses the legendary power of their ancestors? Do we watch Goku attempt to learn the spirit bomb from King Kai while actively fighting a guerrilla war against the Saiyan invaders on a frozen Earth? Or do we follow future Trunks as his time machine lands in this pitch-black timeline, completely unequipped for the dark world he finds? Drop your choice in the comments below and hit that subscribe button so you don't miss the next chapter of this dark universe.